Welcome to the Center for Innovation and Peer Support's webinar, Our Virtual World, Key Features for Virtual Group Facilitation. This presentation is not intended to provide legal advice. If there is a discrepancy between the document and any legislation, the legislation will always prevail. This presentation is based on the experience of the Center for Innovation and Peer Support has had using Zoom. Information in this document should not replace your own research and due diligence. This presentation was created using images from the Zoom platform. Today's presentation will include some general online facilitation tips, some information about Zoom, how to set Zoom up in your account, some in-meeting controls and features as well. Here are some general online facilitation tips. Be patient with yourself and others. Have fun and enjoy spending time with others, learning together about Zoom and online platforms. We're all here for the same reason, and sometimes it makes us a bit more human to interact online and have mistakes occur. Technology issues happen to all of us. It's okay. Try to have a plan that if your connection drops, someone will be able to continue on when you're facilitating a group, or let group participants know what to expect in that scenario. Before you use an online platform, it's always a good idea to spend time practicing. You can watch lots of YouTube videos on how to use different platforms, and we encourage you to do some of that research yourself. Think about your surroundings. What's behind you? What's around you? Will you be interrupted? Is there anything inappropriate or uncomfortable for others? And get comfortable yourself so that you're able to participate in the best way that you can. The Center for Innovation in Peer Support dedicated some exploration from designated team members to explore different platforms that we could use when we moved to online services. We chose Zoom and later Zoom Healthcare as our primary virtual service platform. We found this platform to be user-friendly and that it met all of our facilitation needs. Zoom has a variety of account and in-meeting settings, and Zoom reassures that their healthcare accounts are compliant with the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act and the Personal Health Information Protection Act. For more information about Zoom Healthcare, you can visit the Zoom link that we've included on this slide. The Zoom website, zoom.us, offers many different resources that you can use. There are daily trainings that walk you through the basics of the platform. And under the Resources tab is where you'll find available upgrades, video tutorials, articles about Zoom, their privacy and security information, and more. This is where you come to sign in to your Zoom account or web portal. You can use the app on your desktop or device. However, we find that the web portal offers more features and is easier to navigate. Profiles belong to the user of your account. And on the left side, when you log in, you will select settings and see a long list of settings that you can activate or turn off. It is important to review your settings, and we highly encourage you to spend time in this area of the web portal. Any changes will apply to all future meetings. If it does not change, close your browser and app and then sign in again. There are some areas where you can edit your settings, for example, your pre-meeting waiting room message. The Center for Innovation and Peer Support has customized their pre-meeting waiting room message, which you can see here. We were able to add our logo as well as consent items and information about how to participate and create a safer space for everyone involved in the meeting that someone is accessing. Managing your meetings. The web portal is also a great place to manage and schedule and start your meetings. A list of your future meetings will be shown, and you can scroll through all of your future scheduled meetings. This helps you to avoid scheduling conflicts, and on the app, we find it's not as clear and does not show it quite as many meetings. So again, we prefer the web portal for this. You can also see your previous meetings, and if you accidentally deleted a meeting, you can click Recently Deleted to access these and reinstate or edit them. You can edit a meeting at any time by clicking on them, and we start all of our meetings using this web platform. To schedule a meeting, click the Schedule Meeting button and a dialog box will open up. Here you can insert the title, description, date, and length of time. You can also set a meeting to be recurring. If you choose weekly, you can select multiple days, for example, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock. The meeting ID is like a personal phone number for the meeting. We generate ours automatically, and this helps with security. Otherwise, this can act as a call-in or a joining mechanism for anyone at any time. You can require registration for your meetings, and you can customize and manage this registration in your web portal. This is not something that the center uses at this time. You can require a meeting password and customize this password. You can also use the same password for multiple meetings. We use this for our closed groups, and participants receive the password upon registration because these groups go a little more in depth than our social recreation groups, and we want people to feel comfortable in their space. You can also determine the ways in which people can connect to audio. The lower barrier option is allowing members to not only use computers and devices, but to also call into meetings. We have this set to allowing both. Zoom defaults dial-in options to the United States and provides phone numbers for people to call in from the United States. To edit this, just simply click Edit and then select Canada. Enabling the waiting room is a security feature we will talk about a little more later. Alternative hosts allow other Zoom profiles to start a meeting from their account, and the meeting will appear in their account. Not shown in this image, you can also save the meeting as a template. To make it easier to schedule similar meetings, we use this for our groups and have similar templates for different types and styles of groups. Once scheduled, you can invite participants using a URL or a full invitation that includes the meeting ID, password, and dial-in options. On the Zoom website, you can download the Outlook plugin as well, which allows you to schedule meetings right from Outlook and send the calendar invite right away. There are a number of meeting roles that people can have during your meetings. One of them includes being the host. You can only have one host, and this person has the most administrative controls within the meetings. Co-hosts have many similar controls to hosts, and participants have limited controls. We use hosts for tech support and background administrative duties, allowing our facilitators and peer interns to co-host in our groups. All of our groups have a facilitator and host present. When there is a co-host assigned, if the host connection drops, the co-host will automatically become the host and the meeting continues. If there is no co-host assigned, the hosting will pass to another participant at random and they will have hosting controls. Changing your view. If you exit full screen, you can resize your Zoom window and still have access to your computer. To change your view, you can click the little icon that says Speaker or Gallery View, which will change the way in which you see the video tile and any content that's being shared. If someone is sharing their screen, you can also change your view by clicking View Options next to the green bar at the top of your screen. You can then zoom in or out on the image being shared, or you can choose side-by-side view and then adjust the size of each side of your screen to your liking to include more or less video tiles and more or less of the slide being presented. Audio and camera settings. To connect your audio, click the headset and select the microphone or speakers you would like to use. Once selected, the icon will change to a microphone and you can click this to mute and unmute yourself. To select options for audio, click the arrow next to the image. Here you will be able to access items such as switching to phone audio, which allows people who have a computer but no microphone or speaker to use their phone instead. If you click Audio Settings, it will open up your settings window. And not only can you access your audio settings, you can also access other settings. I encourage you to explore all of these setting areas to learn more about how your account is set up and what you can do during your meetings. Next to the microphone, you have a camera icon. Click this to start and stop your video, and click the arrow next to the camera to access your video settings. Zoom recently added the security button feature as a quick place to access some of their security features. Here you can lock the meeting, which blocks anyone else from joining your meeting. You can turn this on or off throughout your meeting. For example, if someone's connection drops, you can temporarily unlock the room to let them back in. Once locked, participants will be notified that the meeting is locked and they do not enter the waiting room, so you will not know if somebody has tried to enter your meeting once you lock it. We lock our wellness-oriented groups, and if there is ever a serious comfort concern, we will remove a participant and lock our drop-in spaces as well. This is to increase comfort and safety in our spaces. Enabling the waiting room. This feature allows you to admit participants and stop folks from dropping in unannounced. Their name will be visible. However, it's important to note that if a device is shared, it may not be an accurate name. We've had lots of people show up with their children's names or friends' names, so please know that that name might not be the correct person. And we will talk more about the waiting room later. Here you can also allow participants to share screen. We do not allow this in our meetings. You can also allow people to chat. We use the chat feature. We're going to talk about that a little later. You can also allow participants to rename themselves. Recognizing that people often come in with an inaccurate name based on who last used their Zoom account, we allow this, and we also are able to rename them if they have a hard time renaming themselves or if they're calling in and it shows just their phone number. Clicking the Manage Participant button opens the participant box. You will see here a list of all your participants. Clicking the small arrow in the top left corner of the box allows you to close it or pop it out, allowing you to move this box anywhere on your screen. Click the three dots at the bottom to open a menu of options. You will see that many of the items here are similar to the security button. This is also where you can merge the box back to the side of your meeting window. The waiting room appears in the participant box, and participants in the waiting room will see a message like the one you showed earlier. You can send another message to the waiting room participants, but they will not be able to message you back. Participants, hosts, and co-hosts have access to signals that will also appear in the chat box, such as raising your hand. As host or co-host, you will have special controls for each participant. You can hover your mouse over a video tile or a participant name in the participant box to see quick mute and unmute options. In the participant box, you are also able to turn someone's camera on and off fairly quickly. If you click the three dots on the video tile or the More button next to the participant name in the participant box, you will see a menu of options. Here you can chat to an individual, make a participant a host, co-host, or rename them. You can also put a participant in the waiting room. We would do this if the comfort of a group was gravely compromised, and then send a message to the participant in the waiting room with an invitation to call us to further discuss letting them back into the room and the safety of others. You also have the ability to remove a participant. In your settings, you can disable or enable their ability to the meeting once they are removed. You can also report a user to Zoom if necessary. We use the chat box for one-to-one support, text support, and notifications among staff and volunteers. We also use the option to share resources and information with all participants. You can choose who to chat with by clicking the To button. Here you'll be able to chat with everyone, the waiting room, or just an individual. As co-host and host, you can also choose who participants can and cannot chat with. We usually have this set to host only, which allows participants to chat with our host and co-host if they need to. Like the participant box, you can pop this box out, move it around your screen, and merge it back to the meeting window. In your web portal settings, you can disable the ability to copy text from the chat box. We have copying from the chat box disabled for increased privacy. You can upload and share files to the chat box that are easy to download, and we use this feature to share resources with all of our participants. The chat can also automatically save to your account should you want to reference it later. We have this disabled to ensure confidentiality of what's being shared in our groups. To access sharing settings, you can click the small arrow next to the Share Screen button and click Advanced Options. We usually have this set to host only to stop participants from being able to share other items that we are not aware they will be sharing. When you click the Share Screen button, you will see many basic sharing options. In your web portal settings, you can enable and disable the ability for participants to see Zoom windows as you share. We have this disabled so that participants do not see our chat or participant boxes while we are presenting. You can share your screen, which allows participants to see everything on your screen. You can choose to share a whiteboard, which shares a blank screen with annotation features. We use this for games like Pictionary. You can also choose to share individual program windows. This allows you to keep other parts of your screen private and also allows for less chance of confidential items like emails or files being shown. If you navigate to another window while sharing in this mode, your screen share is paused and viewers will not see that your screen has changed. This also allows you to resize the window while you're presenting, and it will stay blown up for your viewers. If you are sharing a video, it's important to share your computer sound and optimize for full screen video clip. When optimized for a video clip, the person sharing loses the ability to see participants, but the participants can still see the host. This is an example of how I usually have my screen set up when I'm sharing a screen. The green box indicates what is being shared, and the rest allows me to have access to the chat box, the participant box, and to see some of the faces in the space. The screen itself, the Zoom website window, will still be large for the participants, as I mentioned in the last slide. If you have dual monitors, you can split up your sharing and have a full screen window that is shared, and then move your participant box and chat to another screen, or play around with any dual monitor features that you would prefer to see. When you're in the screen sharing dialog box, you can also click Advanced Sharing Options. This allows you to share a portion of your screen that you can resize to any size you want, and then show any particular item on your screen. So if you wanted to share just one image without the rest, you could do that. You can also share music or computer sound only, and this is great when you just want to share background music, maybe as people are coming into a space, or show some sort of audio file without an image. While sharing, your control bar will move from the bottom of the screen to the top. If it disappears, simply move your arrow over the green part of the bar at the top of your screen and it will reappear. All of your controls will remain, and you can stop sharing or choose a new share to switch your content. Anytime you see the More option, you can access any controls that are not currently visible in your control bar, such as chat. While sharing, you have additional options. You can optimize videos without stopping your share and opening the share menu again. And you will also want to disable participant annotation. It is easy for participants on a touchscreen device to accidentally start annotating while touching their screen to navigate their own controls. Annotation allows you to draw, stamp, highlight, or type on shared documents. It can be a lot of fun, but it can also cause a little bit of havoc if you don't have it disabled for your participants. Breakout rooms. Breakout rooms create mini meetings within your meeting. We use these rooms for one-to-one support if needed in our closed self-help groups and for small group discussions within our communities of practice or trainings. Your main meeting session will remain open and is not counted in the number of breakout rooms. You cannot share a screen and have it broadcasted to each room, but each room can share a screen for their participants of that room. If participants are registered, you can have breakout rooms set up before the meeting. To create breakout rooms during the meeting, click on the Breakout Room button. Select the number of rooms you want to create and pay attention to the counter at the bottom, which tells you how many participants will be in each room. You can also choose to assign participants yourself to each room or have Zoom randomly assign them. When you click Create Rooms, you will see the Breakout Room box open. You can rename the rooms, delete them, or add new ones. You can also assign or move participants. Ensure you review your options before opening the rooms. Allowing participants to return to the main meeting room can be useful for ad hoc one-to-one support. We use the countdown to also allow participants time to wrap up conversation before the breakout rooms closed. You can have a timed breakout room and move participants automatically or send them an invitation to join their assigned breakout room that they have to accept in order to move to that room. When the rooms are open, you can join any room, broadcast a message to all rooms, join participants, and participants can request help from you as the host. To have participants return to the meeting, simply close the breakout room. If you want to reuse the breakout room during this meeting, simply open them again. To create new breakout rooms, click Recreate. Zoom has a YouTube channel with many short tutorials, and you can visit their How to Zoom playlist to see more of these. We found this video on polling particularly useful, and we encourage you to check that out if polls are something you would like to use in your groups. We do use polls to gather brief information and feedback from drop-in group participants, and we choose to make our polls anonymous, which is an option you can select when you set them up. Polls are multiple choice only, and you can create them for a meeting while in the meeting. It'll just take you to the web browser. Or you can choose to create them before the meeting and then select the poll that you would like to use. Again, that is all explained in Zoom's YouTube channel video.